Hello everyone and welcome back to the Scholars Journal.
Measles cases surge.
Measles cases in
Measles.
The MMR vaccine contains a lot of aborted fetus debris.
There is a massive measles outbreak going on, especially in places like Texas right now, and a lot of people are getting hospitalized and a lot of people are scared. So we're going to talk about measles today, about what it is, the vaccination for it, and probably why all this is happening right now. According to the National Foundation for Infectious Disease, measles is a highly contagious respiratory illness, meaning that it transmits through droplets in the air. When you cough, when you sneeze, when you breathe, if you're infected, you transmit the measles virus in these droplets. The transmission period, or the transmission rate really, is about 90%. For those who are not vaccinated, the transmission rate is 90%. The cause, or the initial symptoms are something that you'd see pretty much with any disease ever, any respiratory diseases, fever, coughing, stuff like that. And so that's when you start like coughing out the droplets that infect other people.
Common symptoms include rashes, runny noses, and fevers.
But then after about 14 days after exposure, you develop a pretty unique rash that starts in your head, starts in your face, and starts going down your body. Some additional symptoms like loss of appetite, diarrhea, stuff like that can happen. But as disease progresses, for some people, it can get really bad. It can end up in seizures, it can end up in even death. It can end up in brain damage. There are a lot of really severe symptoms that happen to certain people in our population if they get it. There's also no treatment for it. There is no specific treatment, no specific antiviral for measles. We do supportive care in hospitals. So when you come in, people will make sure that your fever is managed, that your coughing is managed, that these symptoms are managed, but we have no specific antiviral for measles. We also try to make sure that any bacterial infection that may try to hurt you doesn't, but again, no specific antiviral. The thing that we do have is preventative care. Measles vaccine is 93% effective. The MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, and rubella, is 93% effective against measles. It's at one dose. At 2 doses, it's 97%. 97% effective against measles at 2 doses.
It's way safer than the alternative, which is measles.
One of the big things that scares people about the MMR vaccine is they hear that it's a live virus, a live attenuated, some may call, vaccine. All this means is that there's a weakened form of the measles virus that is in that vaccine, and that helps your body better recognize it and kill it. So next time your body encounters measles out in the wild if somebody had it, it is more likely to kill it faster and make sure that you don't actually present any symptoms and you don't become infectious.
Don't have the vaccine and you come in contact with measles, you're almost definitely going to get it.
There are already 1,046 cases, confirmed cases of measles in the United States. And in case that number doesn't sound big to you, in 2024, it was 285. So about 5 times the rate of measles from 2024 to 2025. And we're only halfway through 2025 as of the recording of this video. Most of the people getting infected are 5 to 19, so adolescents to children, at 37%. 96% of people who are getting measles, are not vaccinated. 96%. 12% of that 1,046 I said earlier are getting hospitalized. So 127 people in 2025 have been hospitalized as a result of measles, something that we killed, we declared destroyed in the United States long ago. The main group getting affected is also kids under 5. So this rise of unvaccination is disproportionately hurting young kids under 5. All this begs the question, if the MMR vaccine works so well, then why do we have so many people not getting it?
The MMR vaccine that we currently use has millions of particles from were created from aborted fetal tissue, millions of DNA fragments.
As you can see, in multiple interviews, RFK said that there was aborted fetal debris in vaccinations. This is blatantly false. There was the only time that fetal cells are involved in vaccination is in the production stage. No fetal debris ends up in the final vaccination. Now, when are fetal cells used? Well, according to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, they're used in the production of the vaccine. The main reason why this is why they are used, why fetal cells are used specifically, is because they haven't divided as much. So once a cell divides about 50 times, on average, most cells in the human body will die after the 50th division, generally. And because fetal cells haven't divided that many times, because they're fetal cells, they have a longer lifespan, they can be used more. They also are less likely to have viral infections, and so you are making sure that those cells are pure, that you're really controlling for the measles virus specifically. The fetal cells that we use come from 2 abortions, at least the one in the MMR vaccine, come from 2 abortions that were elective, that happened in the 1960s. All of these cells that we use in production, all of them come from 2 abortions. There are no abortions past then are contributing to the MMR's vaccine in the production side of it. None. There is no association. Also, the vaccines don't even contain any fetal tissue. All of that fetal debris, all of the things that, like the cells that help grow the virus, which is what we use the fetal cells for, and everything that helps support the fetal tissue help it grow the virus, all of that gets taken out before the vaccine is finalized. So the only thing that you get is what is intended, and none of that contains fetal cells. No fetal debris, nothing associated with a fetus. RFK brings up the Mennonite religion, specifically a certain part of the Mennonites in the Texas region. And he says that we need to consider their opinion, which of course we do. Mennonites still deserve to be treated even if they don't accept the MMR vaccine. But let's talk a little bit about the Christian churches, broadly, perspective on vaccination. Most Christian churches, at least, actively support vaccination, even acknowledging the issue of abortion, which it is in most Christian churches. Start with the Greek Orthodox Church. According to the Archdiocese of America, any religious exemption that uses Greek Orthodoxy as an excuse to not get a vaccine is invalid. Any excuse given out, any religious exemption form given out by a priest is invalid under the Greek Orthodox Church, under the Archdiocese of America. Let's switch to the Catholic view. So the Catholics, at the 2017 Pontifical Academy for Life, released a clarification on the medical and scientific nature of vaccination. They said, and I quote, "We believe that all clinically recommended vaccinations can be used with a clear conscience and that the use of such vaccines does not signify some sort of cooperation with voluntary abortion." I'm not going to name every Protestant church, but most Protestant churches also heavily support the vaccination of their members. If you take nothing else from this video, please understand these 3 things. 3 things. The first is that fetal cells ultimately do not contain any fetal tissue, no fetal debris, nothing involved with fetuses. It's only used in development and is purified out before the vaccine is finalized. Second is that the cell lines that are used from these aborted fetuses are 40 to 60 years old. These abortions have happened long ago, and we are not using new abortions or any more recent abortions than that to support this cell growth. None. Third, the religious and medical authorities, at least most Christian ones, support the use of the vaccine.